Okay, so I was gonna go to bed, but I'm being compelled to explain this. I have no idea if this is going to be explained right, but I'm gonna try it anyways. So, all right. So ISIS. I don't know why I got an A there, but sometimes I write things and it turns out there's a reason for it. So put A, but it's also ISIS. ISIS. Parents Newt and Geb. I thought that's really cute. I have the two over there. Newt or nut. Seed. Again, I still think it's like the brain, right and left side. Anyways, Isis. Okay, very famous for holding the Ankh and a staff. And her headdress is like almost like stairs, in my opinion. And she's the one that depicts, she's got if you ever seen the depiction of her, it's like outstretched arms and she's got wings. Now, in my mind's eye, I connect with that and I see her like dancing with herself. It's really sweet. It's almost like when I was young, I used to dance with the ghetto blaster or just dance to music. Anyway, so it's almost like she's wearing overalls. And I can picture that she's like her own seamstress. She made those wings herself. Goddess of magic, motherhood, and in my opinion, parts of clans of Scottish descendants. That's very important. Other names of saying it: set, asset, almost like asset. You an asset or you a liability? And I put in brackets, love those overalls. Love those overalls. Aramaic almost looks like on, like you're switched on or off. Different languages there. I don't know if I'm saying this Meroitic. Anyways, this is funny. My brother used to do the breathe in. He's like, woosa. And it's hilarious how he says that because it's connected to Isis as well. Another way of saying it. So Osiris myth resurrected her slain brother / husband. Totally not down with that, but back in the day, that sort of thing, I guess, even for myths, used to run. I know a lot of royalty does that as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a direct link. It could be like cousins or something like that. And when it comes to royalty, they say keep it in the family. I think it's something to do with bloodlines. It's a thing. Anyways, resurrects slain brother / husband, Osiris, produces an heir, Horus. In brackets, I put horse. Not 100% sure why. But that's a lot to do. I think even Mongolian horses, whole idea of women being whores, pardon the language, and free spirit, and how almost like women are kind of in this reality we got here turned into little, I don't want to say S word, but anyways, they're not taught to respect their bodies as a temple, which a woman's body is a freaking temple. and it's very important. And unfortunately, they're not taught that, and so they're easily manipulated and kept under control. I'm just going to leave it at that. Anyways, helps the dead enter the afterlife. It's like a mother of pharaohs, almost linked to Horus, and I put like and in brackets, I'm not sure, linked, liked, like, and anyways, healer, and she used a lot of herbs and stuff like that, apparently. So I put green witch, healer, dancer, writer. She did her forms of writing, I guess. I don't want to say spells or anything like that, but we'll just say writer. And took on traits of Hathor, which is like a sky deity, a mother or consort of Horus. Now there's a bunch of different Horuses, okay? There's like a senior and junior, and I don't know, a bunch of different Horus. But also the Eye of Horus. You know, the Eye of Horus for... anyways, consort of Horus, Ra, autumn. It's funny, it's autumn. It's almost like our autumn, right? And what do I got in there? Amun. Yeah, Amun. It's almost like Amun. And Kansu. I think I got in there. Anyways, Eye of Ra is feminine version. That was Hathor. Music, dance, joy, love, sex, care, femininity. Crossed boundaries, helping deceased souls. So she did sort of the same as Isis. Her children were Ai, who was a musician, Neferhotep, and Ra. And it said cycle of rebirth, so another version, I guess. And Isis absorbs the traits from other goddesses easily. The traits she wants, I guess. Anyways, what have I got in here? Now the headdress, you got the white and the red. This is usually for the kings who ruled as monarchs. Now, in this day and age, monarchs are usually associated with females, but kings didn't necessarily have to be male. And only later on did the whole idea of the word pharaoh, which I almost, I kind of laughed because it's almost like phallic, right? Pharaoh. Anyways, they wore the shendi, which is almost like a kilt. And again, reference that to Scottish, back to the clans idea that thinking a lot of the descendants from Scotland, Ireland, you name it. Anyways, her siblings, Isis siblings, Osiris, Set, Nephilis, Horus the Elder. And the hat, the headdress, the red and white. Lower, red, upwards, white. Not 100% certain on that. The headdress, yellow and blue. Now, I don't know if you want to associate that with any of the chakras, but yellow would be the sacral and blue would be the throat chakra. So, as I do and I speak. It's funny. Isis, what else was I gonna get to? Anyways, her children, where's offspring? There we go. Horus, another Horus, Min, 4 sons of Horus and Basset. Now, I went and looked up the 4 sons of Horus, okay? So we got Imseti, which is, I believe, the liver. and it's south, and it's emotions. Okay, and then you got Duamutef. Sorry if I'm butchering these names. Which is the stomach, or generation, and that'd be east. And then you've got happy, which I thought was cute. It's almost like happy, which is north. Which, if you're north node, you think you're in a positive, high frequency, you'd be happy. Thought that was sweet. And that is the lungs. And then, oh, forgive me, Keben Senuef. Okay, and that is the intestines, and it's west. Now, I thought of north, south. Now, it's usually east and west, but for some reason I wrote down east and west. And like I said, I usually write down things and then they make sense later. But then I was getting further into it, and there's 3 other ones to the 4. And Ma A Tafef Caribi Kuf Horse Kenti Ma. Anyways, in total it's 7. And I was like, they called it the protectors of the body of Osiris, the 7 shining ones. And I was like, oh, 7, almost like a rainbow, right? Archangels, I associate the same, the 7 rainbow. And then inner voice, the king's friends. They used to say, oh, the king's friends. The 7 shining ones were the king's friends, or the protectors. And I was like, oh, that's almost like the inner voices, anybody's going through their own inner monologue or anything like that. They have the good, the light, and the dark, right and left side of the brain. It's almost like an internal battle. I've explained this before. And then they explained that the whole idea, they are the ones that assisted the kings or queens. I don't know, however you want to say it. The kings. That's thick. Damn, I did want protection, but holy crap. Okay, so I speak clearly. All right, so the ladders of the kings, right, to help them in their ascension, protectors of the body of Osiris. So ladders, I was also thinking, look like the DNA. And then if you look up the word ladder in other languages, you got, I don't know how to pronounce that, but if you put it in English, it's almost like healed. And then in brackets D, C, D, right and left side of the brain, healed, D, leer, or look, stare, star, eye, and liter, and I'm thinking like a feather, lighter. And you got your chakras, when you align them in your body, 7 chakras. It's almost like a rainbow, right? And you drop the baggage, and you become lighter. So after the rain, you know how your brain has the emotions, you get your rainbow. So I associated a lot of what was all from Isis, going all the way around, how she helps the dead. She almost like helps them, on their way. It's like helps them on their path, and helps them, in my opinion, to heal. And a lot of this that I speak of on my channel when it comes to healing your 2 sides, we'll say east and west. Okay. And how you have your north node and your south node, and you typically want to be following your north node, but you can be in your south node as well. I say like the right and left side of the brain, your emotions. It's also like the water. Oh, and this was another thing too, and apparently the 4 sons were born from a lily flower that comes from the ocean. Really interesting. If you know Greek mythology and the whole idea of Poseidon and all that, I think it all ties together. Very interesting, the whole Scottish ties with the Egyptians. And there's more to that as well, I explain. But yeah. So, this is something else I was looking at when it comes to blood types. Yeah. Yeah, I was compelled to. What else was there? That's the whole idea. Nefertiti, the whole idea of her left eye when it came to that statue. Ruled by her husband's side. They both enacted a religious revolution. Amenhotep the 4th. Interesting how it's the 4th there. And Cleopatra there is the 7th. They had 6 daughters, maybe more, I don't know. A place of where they were born. And it's now considered Amarna. mRNA. Funny, RNA. Anyways, possibly their son Tutankhamun. Now this is weird because it's like stepson and possible son. The Earthman, the hat she wore upon her head. I don't know if that is anything to do with the elongated skull. Amenhotep changed his name to Akhenaten, and Nefertiti changed her name to Nefertiti. Beautiful are the beauties of Aten. Beautiful woman has come to honor the god. They said that Nefertiti, they didn't know where she come from. However, I kept looking through it, and they said possibly she was from Syria. But during their reign, it was like a huge period of artistry. A lot of stuff being done. And then one of the sculptors, specifically, they named him Thutmose. Anyways, they happened to mention that, and they said they're not sure of this, but I'm pretty sure. Anyways, they said that Nefertiti's body may have been found among the Valley of Kings and ruled as a pharaoh, but they said that wasn't proved. However, people can say whatever just to cover things up. Daughters. Agnes and Moon. And they had a different name for that. Agnes and Patian. Anyways, the daughters. Mary. I put Mary in brackets. I don't know why. So Tai. That's another one as well. Apparently was married to Amenhotep III. That's the fourth. And they had a son, apparently. They had a few children. But they had Tutankhamun under here. And Ty was actually found in Amenhotep II's tomb. And they have Thutmose down here as well. So I am pretty sure Nefertiti, Thutmose would be her brother. And she was also a child of Amenhotep III. And they said that the younger lady that was found, Nefertiti, mother of Tutankhamun, daughter of Amenhotep III, or second. I'd say the third. So not only would be a wife to Amenhotep IV, Akhenaten, daughter of Tai, sister to Thutmose, sculptor during Achen rule. So literally, her father and the younger lady, or the wife, not wife. I don't know if that's true, but that would mean that her father, she had a son with. Anyways, there's a lot of. Oh yeah, in the Hathor, Isis in the tomb of Nefertari, not Nefertiti, Nefertari, and Cleo, Greek origins, Macedonian Greek, Ptolemy. I think that's supposed to be the first, but I put I specifically. Sutter, Alexander the Great's general. So she was not Egyptian descent. Anyways, got your other with Cleopatra and Nefertari. Oh, and the whole idea of what they hold. You know how they have the tombs and stuff like that, and they cross their arms, and how they have one on one side, one on the other. Left brain controls right side, right brain controls left side. And yeah, most of these names I butchered the crap out of, but I found it really interesting how it's all connected. Oh, and listening to some of the music, I thought some of the Egyptian music sounded a lot like Scottish and French for some reason. I was picking that up. It's very similar.